What is up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to take a deep dive on swim baits and talk about specific situations where I like to throw swim baits, what swim baits I'm going to throw, and where they're going to work best. A lot of underwater footage today, so let's dive right in. So when we're talking about swim baits, we're talking about big baits here. 6 to 8 to 10 inch to 12 inch baits. Swim baits work because they have drawing power. Think of them as magnets. They pull fish off of cover out to see what it is, then to bite that lure because it's a big meal or because it's a reaction bite to the size of that bait coming through. So think of these baits as a magnet, if you would. So it helps to see that the bigger bait that you are going to throw, the farther a bass is going to come to check it out. So an 8-inch bait is going to have more drawing power than a 4-inch bait, simply from the fact that those fish are really going to come farther to check out a bigger bait. If it's built to pull fish off of cover, that's how we want to focus on using it. Right? Use it to pull fish out and get them interested in what you want to see is where those fish are and how they can be caught. So now that we understand what swim baits do, let's talk about where to use them. Number one, swim baits are going to shine in clear water situations. Now, clear water is relative to where that you're fishing, right? In some sections of the country, clear water is going to be 20 to 30 feet. In other sections, clear water is going to be 5 to 7 feet. In other sections of the country, it's going to be 12 inches or less. Swim baits can work in all of those, but they're going to shine in areas where fish are visually hunting prey. So I like to throw a swim bait in anywhere from 3 to 5 foot of visibility on the low end up to, that 25, 30 feet of visibility. Swim baits are magnets, so they're going to do a very good job of pulling those fish off of cover. The clearer the water, the farther the fish are going to come to check out what that bait is doing. So, how do we go about choosing the right bait? This becomes a key in every choice that you're going to make when you're swim bait fishing. I think of it as matching the hatch. What are existing prey species in the body of water that I'm fishing that can be mimicked by a swim bait? So let's start with shallow swim bait fishing. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to choose a glide bait when I'm fishing shallow. A glide bait is meant to be twitched and really given a lot of action. It's meant to pull fish off of cover. This bait that I'm fishing here is the Berkley Nessie. It's a $14 soft glide bait. It is not the best glide bait on the market, but it is the most affordable option to teach you how to fish a glide bait. I'm going to fish this bait in and around cover because it's going to pull fish off of that existing cover as a magnet. A glide bait is a great way to see what kind of fish are in the body of water that you are fishing. And while this is not a perfect glide bait, this does a good job of being fished on regular bass gear. For the average angler, this is a great place to start to fish it around cover and to make bass react. The next bait that I'm going to suggest that you start out using is the Megabass Magdraft 6-inch rigged bait. And this swim bait is your go-to for your general chugging and winding swim bait fishing. This bait at 6 inches is about the same size as a chatterbait, but it gives you that big bait experience and big bait feel. This is a bait I'm fishing like a spinnerbait. I'm fishing it around cover. I'm fishing it over structure. You can fish this bait anywhere. The things that make the Magdraft great. 1, fishability. It's ready to go out of the package. A lot of guys modify it. A lot of guys do a lot of different things to it, but I'm telling you right now, to get into swim bait fishing, this bait is ready to go out of the package. 2, it sets the standard for a head wobble and body roll. You can see how that eye is flashing there and that head is wobbling. This bait starts kicking about 1.1 to 1.3 miles an hour. Then, literally, you have a bait that holds its cadence and holds its thing till about 2.1 miles an hour. It doesn't blow out. It swims really, really nicely. And the cool thing about the Magdraft is it gives that head wobble, it calls in fish, and this is a bait where you can catch a lot of smaller fish. They will bite it. Now, you can get super in-depth, you can run stingers, you can run all kinds of different hookups and ratios on it, but from a getting into swim bait fishing standpoint, this is the first bait that I would tell you as a soft plastic bait to get up because it's ready to go out of the box. Now, where I fish this bait, Clear water, dirty water, I like clear water better. We talked about that. I'm gonna throw this bait all year. It's a cold water bait, it's a hot water bait. It has drawing power. If I'm around bigger fish, I'm gonna move up to the 8-inch version. Don't be afraid to throw bigger baits. They are magnet. The bigger the bait, the more the draw. A pre-spawn time, you can see that head wobble here. This is an active bait, a great time to throw it, a great time to get confidence in throwing a swim bait. Next up here, we have the BPS Comeback Shad. This one gives off a slightly different kick. It gives off a more exaggerated body roll than the Magdraft. It is going to kick around 1.1 to 1.3 miles an hour. It will blow out sideways if you reel it much over 2, so it's not quite as steady as the Magdraft. But the thing is this bait gives you another option. Where a lot of guys have been throwing a Magdraft, the Comeback Shad gives you that same rigged swim bait appearance and approach, but what it gives you is different color schemes, different body shape, and that same big swim bait feel. Advantages of this bait over the Magdraft: it's a different look. It's a different profile than the Magdraft. It has those bottom fins. It has a different swim. It has an almost more exaggerated swim. So when you're looking at warmer water conditions, this bait might be a better option. And generally speaking, it's good to have multiple options on deck so that you can target fish in different moods. I'm really impressed by the underwater on this bait, and the price point is fantastic. It has a really good head wobble. You can see here the vertical profile of it looks really nice. And it's that rigged swim bait, so once again you're getting a ready to go bait out of the package. You're not breaking the bank at doing it. Super excited about this bait here in the coming weeks. Now, going from a bait that was a pleasant surprise to a bait that was kind of a disappointment, you have the Hangover mimicking Shad from Sense Fishing. This bait only runs true if you're absolutely burning it, and a lot of people have had problems with this swim bait rolling like this at slower speeds, and let me tell you that that's true. This bait rolls at slower speeds. I don't know why, but it tracks true at really fast speeds. At slow speeds, it rolls side to side, so when you slow down your retrieve, it's not going to work. This bait will work exceptionally well in warm water if you're burning it, or you're looking to high stick a bait through grass and really move it through. It's going to swim exceptionally well. If you try to slow this bait down and swim it at slow speeds, it's not. I got this bait because it was on sale. I've heard negative reviews about it. I wanted to see for myself if it was the way that people were rigging it or what was going on. But it turns out this bait is just not well suited to run at slow speeds. It runs great at quick pace speeds, but at slow speeds it does not. Being a forward-facing bait, it also has a downside of not being able to fish at multiple speeds. You can modify this bait, you can do a lot of stuff, put nail weights in it, do all kinds of things, but simply stated at slow speeds, this bait rolls. And when you need to be able to fish multiple zones, this is not the bait you want to pick up. It is not expensive, but at the same time, you're not getting a bait that you can fish with confidence at different speeds and zones. If you're just straight up looking to burn a bait, this is the one, but at slow speeds here, like you see, it rolls side to side. So be cautious of this bait. So guys, to recap, swim baits can be used everywhere. They work better in clear water. I like to find multi-use swim baits, use them as magnets to pull fish out of cover. Don't be afraid to lock this bait in your hand. It's gonna get you bigger bites. Find swim baits that have good head action and good tail action and are ready to fish out of the package. Number one thing is lock this bait in your hand. You're gonna catch bigger bass. It'll take a while to get used to throwing a bigger bait, but don't be afraid of it. If you guys like what's going on the channel right now, give us a like, subscribe, let us know in the comment section what baits you want to see underwater. And we are having a fun time right now, guys, so let us help you. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. Give us a like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.